A couple questions here with Doug Fehan, Corvette Racing Manager. Let's go ahead and cut to the chase right away, and let's talk about Anthony Davidson for a minute. Describe your initial reaction and your thoughts as you watched the incident happen with Collard.
Well, obviously it was disappointing to see. I mean, we were running quite comfortably, leading the race, and anytime you have something like that occur, why it was disappointing for me personally, and obviously devastatingly disappointing for the team as well.
Definitely. I was watching your reaction on the monitor as it happened. It seemed like maybe you were kind of seething inside. Is that an accurate assessment?
You know, I think I've done this long enough where you learn to control those emotions, and you know, it was I expect more out of professional drivers. That was a move that was demonstrative of impatience and a level of just lack of respect for fellow competitors, and that's why I found it so disappointing in Anthony.
Obviously. Do you feel that maybe Davidson, as you said, got impatient a half a second or so? You think really that would have made that big of a difference? How do you feel about that?
Well, you know, the things that drivers have to keep in mind when they make moves like that is they put themselves in great jeopardy as well. In this particular instance, only the Corvette came up on the short end, but you know, given another opportunity like that, it could very well be the car that he was driving. So that's why I say it's that level of impatience generally is not rewarding in the long run.
Definitely. Davidson claims in an interview that he did with Speed Channel, and I don't know if you had an opportunity to see that, but he made some statements stating that Corvette always tries to defend all the time and that they stay in the middle of the road. Any truth to that, or what's your reaction to that, sir?
Well, when you're racing with cars of varying speed capabilities, it's very important when you get into areas like Porsche Curve, which are at every racetrack in which we compete, that when faster cars are approaching and you're in a fast corner, you simply can't give up your line, or what happens. It's not a question of defending or driving in the middle of the road or having some desire to keep a car behind you. It's from a safety standpoint to be able to continue your race, you have to maintain your line, which the rules of racing fully support. You're not to give up your line for anyone, for any reason, because what happens is just exactly what you saw happen. And so, you know, we'll stand on that. We're not in a battle with the LMP cars. We're not challenging them for victory, and they certainly, you know, run in their own classification. So there's no upside to that. Which the only point of it being that you have to maintain your line to get through a corner safely.
Yes, sir.
We have rear view mirrors, we have a rear TV camera, we have spotters. They know full well when everyone's coming, and we respect all racers, and we give them every opportunity to get by when it's safe and appropriate.
Moving into engine failures, I tell you, engine failures in Corvette racing has certainly been an oxymoron for quite some time. How have you dealt with this? 2 engine failures or engine mechanical problems was quite surprising across the board.
Yes, it was. We've worked very, very hard over the years to develop that reputation of durability and reliability, and I think we've been very successful at that. So to have 2 engine failures, obviously, in any given race is certainly an anomaly. However, I have to say, as I said as we began this program, you know, when you have a brand new car and brand new engines, things like this can occur. It's how you learn. It's a difficult lesson, but it is in fact how you learn. And we didn't anticipate it. We had done everything. We were as well prepared as we could have possibly done for that event. You know, the engines are simulated on the dyno runs for 30 hours. We did an on-track test at Sebring for well over 12 hours. Everything looked just fine, but Le Mans is Le Mans. There's only one racetrack in the world quite like it, where you're, you know, pretty much at full throttle for almost 80% of the time. that induces in a racing environment, and that induces loads and stresses on engines that simply can't be duplicated. The only way to get that data is to actually go and race, and that's what we did. So very uncharacteristic for us. It was certainly unexpected. However, we will learn from that and get smarter, stronger, and be back.
Awesome. Can you give us some details exactly what did go wrong with both of the motors?
They were very similar occurrences. They were valve failures, both intake and exhaust valve. So when one of those valves fails, obviously it creates a catastrophic environment inside that engine as pistons come up and slap, and the valves don't open at the appropriate time, and it's a big problem. There's a lot going on inside the motor when a valve fails, and that was what happened in both the engines. They were similar failures.
Okay. Now, Matt Collard's car. Now, do you attribute the engine failure in that car to the pass by Davidson?
No.
Okay.
No, that we can't find any evidence that the accident contributed to that failure, because it was so similar to the failure in the '63 car.